And you got some more from Zoe. It's KZ here from Cape Town. How you doing? How you doing? Alright, a while back I got myself this. And it is the 28mm Nightmare RDA from Suicide Mods. And because I really like this RDA so much, when I saw that Suicide Mods brought out this, I decided, well, if that's quality, then this must also be quality. So I decided to get myself what they call the Suicide Tube Mech Sci-Fi version. So yeah, that is cool beans. It does come in two, officially it was released in two color variations though, although on certain websites I actually see a third one, alright, but it's not on Suicide Mods website themselves, so I'm just mentioning that though. The two legit ones on their website is the black one, which I got with the Ultim ring, which you will see, and the other one is the one with the brass top, alright, and they all do actually have firing levers. I'm not going to call it a button, I'm going to call it a lever. Firing levers that are the same color configuration as the top itself. And this is what the little guy looks like. Now it is a 21700 side fire, okay, little mech tube. And you've also got the actually option of purchasing this with it. And this is an additional stacker system. So what you're actually doing is you're changing your single 21700 mech tube into a dual 21700 mech tube. Now the question is, why would you want to do that? Because you're doubling the volts. So you can actually play around with your builds a lot more and having less strain on the amperage of your batteries, because you have got two 21700s now. So yeah, the build which I have got in is single coil builder, Alien, 3.5mm diameter, coming in at 0.46 ohms. Okay, the batteries which I'm going to use are these two molar cells, the P42As, which I reckon, and Mooch as well, that these are the best all-round 21700 batteries which you can get. So yeah, as I said, P42As, each of them have got a nominal voltage of around 3.6, maximum voltage of around 4.2, which means that if I'm going to stack this in series mode, I'm pushing it up to 8.4 volts. So if you actually check out that calculator over there, that's what I input, the maximum voltage which it is. And if you take the resistance of the coil, which is 0.46 in my case though, I actually would prefer pushing it up to 0.55, but you will see the wattage at which I'm going to vape is going to be around 150 watts. But the advantage of series, obviously 21700s, is look how low the amperage draw is on the batteries. So you're actually going to have a nice powerful heating mech tube, which is going to last you quite a while. So without any further ado, let's go down for a closer view. Okay, so if you decide just to purchase the single 21700 Suicide Side-Fire Tube Mech, this is the box which you will receive. There's a warning at the back which you must actually just read. And then you've also got a list of the package contents. Suicide Mods. Okay, opening up the package, you are just going to slide it out. Nice little Suicide logo, nothing else on there. Opening this up, this is what you're going to get on the inside. So yeah, first of all, let's quickly remove our little jobby, which we have a look at just now. Inside this little package, you will get a complete spare set of all the brass Phillips head screws, which you will actually need in the assembly of this mod, as well as additional O-rings. And then you also do get an extra firing bar or lever. Okay. And that's what it looks like. Almost got this brushed copper on the underside. And then you've got some grippiness on there, and then two little holes where you're going to use hex screws to attach this to the mod. Okay, now the mod itself also has got a fire button on it, as you will see, and to remove this fire button, as I said, you're going to need a little hex screwdriver. And then it just drops off like that. Okay, now you will actually notice the difference. Don't worry, yours will be clean. I've been using mine for quite a while now. You'll actually notice the difference if you actually look at it from the side. This one is actually curved, which means that this guy is going to take a bit longer. You're going to have to press harder on this guy to actually fire your mod. And this one you will actually see is curved, which means that this is going to be your shorter fire button, and this one the longer fire button or lever. But we will be using the shorter one, the curved one, so let's just reattach it. If you find it hard to press this little guy, all you can do is just loosen up those guys slightly. Not by much, no full turns though, just very slightly. You can just anti-clockwise these little hex screws very, very slightly. and then it's going to give you a bit more play on your fire button if it's too tight for you. You have got a nice solid brass 510 platform at the top, nice threading in the middle, Suicide mods, and then at the bottom also laser etched in Suicide mods. Now this little sleeve is a Delrin sleeve, which means that this is also going to be Delrin, and all that on the inside is going to be Ultim. The tubing inside is going to be a copper tubing. Now you will not receive yours like this. Yours will have 3 O-rings in each one of these grooves, but there's a reason why I removed the O-ring of this groove, but we'll talk about that a bit later though. But this guy can obviously unscrew, which plain and simply means that if you want to use it in single 21700 mode, you will put your positive side up and just screw this into your Ultim threading like so. Now what I suggest you to actually do before you actually put on your atomizer is just unscrew your copper tubing. First put on your atomizer itself, and then you just screw on tight your tubing there. Okay, I'm not going to fire up this little guy. This guy has been built for the stacker version, for the dual 21700 version, but you can see everything sit nice and flush. And then you can obviously just put over your little Delrin sleeve. If you've got a problem getting your sleeve over those O-rings, so just take a bit of VG and just lubricate your O-rings. That's what I actually did, and there you go, nicely together. But as I said, I'm going to use mine in stacker mode, so let's get this little guy apart. The head nice and close up so you can actually see what it looks like. You can see the nice brass, great machining, beautiful machining. Ultim threading on this, fantastic. Haven't given me any issues so far. It's a very hard polycarb or plastic, so it should last you a very long time. But just work carefully with this. I mean, even your copper tubing has got very nice threading on the inside. You can actually see the patina which I've already gathered on this little guy. But yeah, threading works very good. Very nicely done. Okay, so if you decide to get it in stacker mode, this is the boxing for the stack itself. Nothing else on this box, just lift it up, and there's the copper tubing, additional copper tubing, and your Delrin tube which you will get. Now the only difference is I put a O-ring over there, which you will not have. You will have a absolutely clean copper tube when you receive it, and then they also do include a package with additional spare O-rings as well. We're going to use this. I'm just going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this. Those are the guys we are interested in. Now if you want to use the mod in stacker mode, then this original portion, this little shorty piece, you are not going to use. It's going to be replaced by this tube. And while I've got both tubes over here, just have a look on the underside. There are little holes over there, and then there are small little holes over there, and those little holes basically is that when you actually insert your copper tubing, because you are actually going to push air down on the inside, that air is going to be forced out there, making it easier for you to slide in your copper tubing. Now before you insert the 21700s which you're going to use, make 100% sure that there are no tears on this battery wrapping on both of the batteries. That's very important. Remember, this is a mech mod. It does not have protections in it. So you are the protection. Now before we actually attach these copper tubings to one another, just have a look on the inside, and you'll actually see there is a separation over there, and that guy's got a flat head. So assume it is so that you are able to adjust slightly though, depending on the size of the 21700s, because they do have a slight difference in their size. But how you will assemble this is, first of all, you will be putting in the 21700 battery in this side, and then you're going to screw it in there. Then your second 21700 battery will go in that side, also positive up. Just bear in mind, this guy I put in positive up, this one as well positive up, and then you will attach this section to it there. Okay, but as I said, before actually tightening it, first put on your atomizer. Now I will be using a beauty ring for the Asgard Mini, because I just think it looks better. Now don't that just look very nice? Okay, and now you can tighten your tubing, and with all that done, now you will see it's going to fire. Right. Okay, then lastly you're going to put in your Delrin tubing, and you can even do, as you're sliding that, you will actually feel air escaping through those small little holes at the back. Then you know they are working hunky-dory. And there you go. There's our mod. Now, as I said, I have had this for a few weeks though, and I can tell you, this thing hits harder than a peacock mantis shrimp. If you don't know what it is, go and Google that little monkey nut. But check out that. Oh my word. And currently build 0.46, 2 molar cells, 4.2 volts each, combined 8.4 volts. And just use your ohms calculator before you decide to play on these things, because what you do not want is you do not want to exceed the amperage. You're going to unnecessarily heat up your batteries, which can lead to issues. I know there's going to be people out there that's going to say, man, I know what to do, and pulsing this and pulsing that, but not everybody does. So I'm just telling you, make exactly sure you know what you're doing, because this guy has got 0 safety features. You are the safety feature. So you better make sure that everything is perfect with this, that you've actually got an atomizer with a protruding 510 pin, that you've actually got batteries in great condition, your wrapping is absolutely perfect, that the inside of your copper tubing, just go and check those things out, that it's absolutely nice and smooth, that when you insert your batteries that there's something on the inside that can scratch it. Go and check out everything. Make sure that your fire button is nicely fastened there. Because if it's too loose and you put on your sleeve, it might make contact when it's not supposed to make contact. So yeah, let's fire this beast. Airflow wide open. And that, sure, the flavor is awesome on this thing. Awesome. I tell you, this Asgard Mini, even with a single coil, kicks butt. But yeah, 150 watts. This thing kicks, oh my word, it kicks like a savannah zebra, I tell you. So what is my summary on this? I'm very happy that I purchased this mod. I'm very happy. But I gotta mention two things though. I've always wanted a side fire mech, and when this dual 21700 option came out in the form of a side fire suicide tube, I just had to get it. So yeah, and I'm very happy that I actually did. Now there are two things which I would absolutely recommend you guys. And the first thing is that in shorty mode you will receive yours with 3 O-rings at the bottom. But the problem I had in shorty mode is as soon as you put on this little short sleeve, because you've got O-rings at the bottom and nothing at the top, you're going to have a bit of play at the top. And you can actually see me wiggling it. And if you still don't believe, just look there, you're going to find some air slits which is actually forming. So yeah, and you can also hear it. But when I use it in my stack mode, I actually took one of my O-rings at the bottom and shifted it up to the top. And hence when I actually put over my tube now, it stabilizes that tube at the top. I don't have that play anymore. The second issue which I had, which I think was a huge issue, but it's easy to rectify that though. Inside the copper tubing, there were no venting holes, none at all. And when I actually contacted the company to ask them about it though, they told me that just above the threading, that thinner portion of dowel ring is made thinner so that it can burn through quicker or break off quicker in the case of venting. But I don't agree with that. There's going to be too much pressure buildup needed to actually break that dowel ring. Remember, this is very, this Ultim. Remember, this is very hard. So imagine the amount of pressure which must actually build up. But that's the answer which they actually gave me. Now I wasn't satisfied with that answer. So what we actually did is what Nico Libber, one of my members, actually did. He just took a jeweler's saw and made a slit. Just cut there, making a slit on the one side. And he did exactly the same right at the bottom. Now it's probably easier to see when you actually remove that, so that your battery coloration is not an issue. But there you will see the second slit which he actually did. So now I have got venting holes. So when I actually blow in this, there's a lot of air coming out there now. And the same with the top. There's a lot of air. So why not only a hole at the bottom? Simply because you have got that division in the middle. So you actually have to make venting holes on both the tubes if you can decide using it in stack mode. So that's exactly what I did, and now I feel a lot safer using this mech, and I think it's absolutely stunning tube side fire mech mod. The only other thing which I found which is actually interesting is the naming of these side fire levers. Now this one which is bulgy, they call the long play, whereas the other one which is curved, they call the short play. But I find it totally opposite. For me, this one with the bulge actually fires quicker than the other one which is curved. So I just think they maybe have got their names wrong, or I'm missing something. But I find this one to fire a lot quicker than what the other one actually does. But as I say, if your firing bar is a bit stiff, all you need to do is just loosen those two little hex screws slightly, ever so slightly. Okay, not too loose though, but where it's comfortable for you, but still not making contact to your copper tubing. If you also find it difficult, as I said, to insert this long sleeve, just get a bit of VG and just put some VG around your little O-rings, and you should not have an issue inserting your tubing, your Delrin tube. Materials quality wise, awesome. It works extremely well. It is so well manufactured, besides those little 2 points which I mentioned, but it should absolutely not be a decision changer for you, because it's small little issues which you can very easily rectify, and you have still got a super 21700 dual series mech tube on your hands. Now it might hit at 8.4 volts now, but as I'm using the batteries, because of battery drainage, you're absolutely gonna slowly but surely lower those volts and get more to the wattage range where you really enjoy it though, which for me is going to be 120 watts. So slowly but surely I'll get down to that 7.6 or 7.8 volt range that's going to deliver me that power. But currently I can handle this, absolutely. So yeah, they are available in South Africa if you're also looking for something like this. As I said, now that this thing is the way which I want it, is absolutely a banger, and I feel a lot more peace of mind using this beast, this V12 Lamborghini. Lastly, if you're really interested, I can just give you a few quick dimensions on this. The Delrin tubing, if you want to feel how something like this, it's not as wide as a toilet roll there, but yeah, 33. Okay, you're going to get a nice 3.3 centimeters in width of this guy, and the length of this guy is almost going to be 16 centimeters. So now you're in the know concerning the Suicide side fire tube mech mod from Suicide Mods. You came, you saw, you decide. This is Kaiser signing over now. Cheers.